in a game that, look, we can call it what it was. The Blazers got screwed in a 111-109 loss to the Oklahoma City Thunder when Jalen Williams said, game.
Jalen Williams veers left, pulls up, looking for the lead, and got it. Jalen Williams, 2 seconds, 111-109.
And you know the Thunder were trying to get the ball with SGA. Look at the double team. Look at the switches. He says, look, I'm just going to call my own number.
And Michael, he's missed that shot a ton tonight. That's his favorite spot on the floor. We know how much he loves going left.
And you know the Thunder were trying to get the ball with SGA. Look at the double team. Look at the switches. He says, look, I'm just going to call my own number.
And Michael, he's missed that shot.
Oh, my goodness. I have no idea what went not happen there at the end of that clip. But
had to get the full breakdown, apparently.
Went a little squirrely. But Jalen Williams, the 111-109 shot to seal the victory, it's how they got there to that point. That is the story coming out of the Blazers, 31st loss of the season. The Blazers are going to be filing a protest with the NBA, and rightfully so, because of the fact that what led up to, one, the game being tied to where Jalen Williams hits the game-winning shot, is in what took the lead for the Oklahoma City Thunder is that Chauncey Billups and Malcolm Brogdon both, with 20 seconds to go, the Blazers brought the ball across the half-court line, and Malcolm Brogdon got jumped by a trap right in the corner there as the Blazers led 109-108. At that point, Chauncey Billups comes to half court and he tries to call a timeout. Now, he's behind the action on the other side of the half court stripe, but he's trying to call the timeout. And then at one point, Brogdon tries to call a timeout too, and then ends up getting called for a double dribble. Now, when you are in a situation like that, at any point, one thing that all referees know is that if they do have timeouts in that situation, you got to be listening for a timeout to be called. And the Blazers did have a timeout to burn. And the referees said, Bill Kennedy, the leader of the chief of that crew, said in that moment, the referee was so focused on the game action that he couldn't hear Chauncey Billups or apparently hear Malcolm Brogdon either, who was attempting to call the timeout. It was clear as day. We've all seen the replays. The replays are out there. But this is something that is truly inexcusable in the NBA. Could Chauncey Billups be louder? Yes. Could Chauncey Billups have notified the officials, as they're going out of the huddle? Hey, something happens. We're going to burn that timeout. Sure. But over the course of 82 games, it is established that, hey, you're in this situation. You better be hearing for the timeout, right? Blazers got hosed because immediately when the double dribble was called, as the Blazers had a 109-108 lead, Chauncey Billups rightfully lost his S. And he touched the official, which is...
That's a no-no. You can't do that.
Automatic T. We all know it. That happens. But then, after that, Chauncey loses his marbles because not only does Oklahoma City have the ball, but now you give him a free throw in a 1-point game because he touched the official. Double tech, he gets run. Apparently, that is the 15 seconds left in the game, or I think it was officially 12 something. Latest a coach has been ejected in a game in the last 25 years in the NBA.
Well, it also looked at least a little bit like the other, because it's not the first ref. Well, the first ref, he calls the T because he gets touched, but it's the second ref that runs Chauncey, and that felt to me more like I'm trying to defend my guy because Chauncey kind of chased after.
You're being a sensitive bee on that officiating crew, and Bill Kennedy, who's a
sensitive bee.
No. The official that called that second technical.
Yes.
You're being super sensitive there because look, at that point, the crew chief is the guy who's going to run him, right? The guy who is sitting there in Bill Kennedy, who has experience in the NBA and is an established guy. By the way, the other two officials on that crew have 8 combined years of refereeing experience. The average in the NBA, according to Tom Haberstroh, is 24. 8. So, what you're looking at is Oklahoma City then gets 2 free throws and the ball. SGA makes 1 of 2 free throws. We're tied at 109, and then Jalen Williams, as we just heard, seals the game. There's a lot that kind of stick out to me in this that you go, inexcusable for the NBA to have this happen. right? Clear as day, guys are trying to call a timeout, and you should be hearing from him. He is at half court yelling, and you don't get that timeout. In that situation, when a guy gets trapped, I don't know, maybe the guy who's getting trapped is going to try to call a timeout. We've only seen it in NBA every single night. If you watch an NBA game and it's a tight game and that happens.
College basketball,
timeout.
High school basketball, middle school basketball, Oregon prep basketball.
Hell,
it's all the same.
Chris Webber did it without a timeout.
It's one of the more impressive timeouts I've ever seen.
It really is. But then it decides a game. And the thing that is crushing for the Blazers is that these instances, especially after they got beat by 62 by this team earlier, like a week and a half ago, you cannot, like, when you have a team that they're 12-31 now, they're 12-30 heading into this game. They played about as good of a team basketball game as the Blazers are going to get this season, right? The Oklahoma City Thunder are a better roster. They're a far better team this year. And
shoot, they beat them by 40 the other two times you played them. Minimum.
Average of 40.
Minimum.
That's not good. But costing a team that is the inexcusable part. What I actually appreciated is hearing Chauncey Billups after the game.
This was a tough situation. We got timeouts. Referees usually are prepared for that, that instance, that situation. I'm at half court trying to call a timeout. It's just frustrating play. Malcolm should feel just as frustrated. He was trying to call a timeout as well. What else would you be trying to do in that situation? It's a bang, bang, easy, simple play.
He's going to get hit in the wallet. Malcolm Brogdon, in his post-game comments, he's probably going to get hit in the wallet too, because they were critical of the officiating, and rightfully so.
The NBA has to do it, though.
They have to do it.
They have to protect their guys. The NBA has to protect their referees.
But where we go now is the Blazers are filing a protest, an official protest reportedly with the NBA. By the way, if you're wondering how often these things work out, 6 times in NBA history.
You know when the last one was?
Was that the Shaq one?
The Shaq one, 2007.
Yeah, where that was the Heat, where the Heat, I think he had
a 6th
foul when he only had 5.
When he had 5.
The Heat ended up trading him in between, because in a protest, official protest, what they'll do is they would put 15.8 seconds back on the clock. They would give the Blazers the ball, and they'd replay the final 15 seconds of the game.
But they wouldn't do it until they played each other the next time.
So when that happened back in 2007, the Miami Heat, in between when they played that game and when they made it up again, they'd traded Shaquille O'Neal, and nobody scored in the final minute of the game that they were playing.
Didn't even matter,
right? But the NBA, the bigger point here is the NBA is not going to overturn this in all likelihood because of Bill Kennedy's explanation when he said that the referee was in the slot position. His focus is on officiating the play at hand, and his concern is not whether the timeout is being called, but to correctly call a double dribble like he did. That, my friend, is not going to sit well with Chauncey Billups or anybody else. But it did tell me a little bit about Chauncey Billups.